Welcome to MMA Daily, your go-to source for daily updates, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from the world of MMA. Stay tuned for the latest on fights, fighters, events, and everything you need to know about the sport that never stops. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all the action. Starting off, Colby Covington loves the idea of facing weight bully Michael Chandler next. Moving on, Islam Makhachev addresses near-brawl with Nate Diaz at UFC 311 press conference. Lastly, Conor McGregor came into possession of a football trophy and attracted significant attention, with the club immediately distancing itself. UFC welterweight contender Colby Covington loves the idea of a fight against Michael Chandler. Colby Covington is fresh off his return to the octagon last month in the main event of UFC Tampa. Stepping up on short notice, Colby Covington faced rising contender Joaquin Buckley. While the former interim champion hoped to earn a title shot with a win, he was largely battered by Joaquin Buckley. With blood pouring from a brutal cut on Colby Covington's eyebrow, the fight was called off in round 3. Colby wasn't pleased with the result, instead blaming the loss on a DEI doctor who called off the bout prematurely. However, he's instead focused on a return to the octagon, calling for fights with the likes of Gilbert Burns. That being said, the welterweight contender has now turned his attention to Michael Chandler. Like Colby Covington, Chandler is fresh off a return to the cage. In November, the former UFC title challenger ended a 2-year hiatus and was handed a unanimous decision loss by Charles Oliveira. Afterward, Chandler showed interest in a move to 170 pounds to meet Covington. Speaking in a recent interview, Colby Covington was asked about a future bout against Michael Chandler. There, Colby seemingly relished in the idea. While Covington believes the lightweight contender is on steroids, he also believes a fight with Chandler would be incredibly easy. He loves to get beat up. He loves to get his face smacked. If that's the fight the UFC wants, then I love that fight. I hope it comes to fruition. I think he's all talk. I don't think he's any walk. I see myself overpowering him. He's definitely done some steroids to bulk up, so 170 looks like a weight class he could fit into. He's like an Islam Makhachev. These guys are weight bullies. There's no reason he shouldn't come up to 170. How do I see the fight going? It's a very easy fight. I see me breaking his will. If it's 5 rounds, for sure he's not hanging out. I just see him quitting, him breaking like in the Dustin fight. With UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev has opened up on his near brawl with Nate Diaz. The two stars were in Las Vegas for last month's UFC 311 presser. In the pay-per-view headliner next month in Los Angeles, Islam Makhachev will meet rising contender Arman Tsarukyan. The Russian famously handed the young lightweight a unanimous decision loss in St. Petersburg back in 2019. However, tensions weren't high between Makhachev and his next title challenger at the press conference. Instead, the lightweight champion nearly got into a brawl with Nate Diaz's team. The Stockton native was in town to corner Kron Gracie at UFC 310 that weekend, who faced Bryce Mitchell. Backstage at the UFC 311 presser, Diaz threw a water bottle at Islam Makhachev, prompting the champion's team to throw objects back. Luckily, nothing too bad broke out between the two teams. However, it was just one of a long series of incidents between Nate Diaz and Islam Makhachev's team. In 2015, the longtime UFC fan favorite got into a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov at a World Series of Fighting event. Almost a decade later, Diaz nearly brawled with the Eagles' longtime friend and training partner. Speaking in a recent interview with Demetrius Johnson, Islam Makhachev opened up about the incident. There, the UFC lightweight champion admitted that he thought things were totally fine between himself and Nate Diaz. However, Makhachev believes the near brawl could have been set off by the star's belief that Khabib Nurmagomedov could be with him. We're sitting before the fight day, I have press conference, and fighters have the official weigh-in. We sit and Diaz start to show them the middle finger. Maybe for some people it's good, but it's not our style to let that go. One of the guys, he wear a mask, maybe he's sick and he wear the mask. Maybe Diaz thinking it's Khabib and wanted to show him. But that day, Khabib wasn't in Vegas, he was in our country. Who knows why Diaz doesn't like Khabib? 5 or 6 months ago, I met Diaz in the elevator in the hotel, and he'd go across to me and said, "Respect." What changed now? The Irish football club Drogheda United issued a public statement distancing itself from Conor McGregor after the famous UFC fighter was photographed with the club's trophy outside of the club's premises. Drogheda unexpectedly won the Irish version of the FA Cup, FAI Cup, defeating Derry City 2-0 in November. This marked the second time in the club's history that they had claimed the prestigious trophy. However, the trophy soon ended up in the hands of Conor McGregor. The Irishman leveraged his family connection with Drogheda player Warren Davis, who was part of the team that won the trophy. McGregor posed in a pub while holding the trophy, expressing pride in his relative and noting that this was the second FAI Cup trophy to be won by someone in his family. Drogheda United immediately issued a public statement distancing itself from any association with McGregor. They explained how the trophy ended up in his hands, but at no point did they mention his name in the statement. Today, we were made aware of a post on social media related to our FAI Cup. The person in the photo is a close relative of one of our first team players who, like everyone at the club, had temporary custody of the trophy to celebrate with family at various intervals. Drogheda United does not in any way associate itself with the individual who posted the photo on social media, nor with any unauthorized brands mentioned. Thanks for watching MMA Daily. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more daily MMA content. See you next time.